Stampers, it's Eleanor McGarry, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada, and in this video I'm going to show you a few card ideas using the Vintage Christmas stamp set. Now this stamp set comes in the mini catalog from July to December 2022 on page 63. You see it here, and you see some wonderful samples on there as well in the catalog. And here you can see how you can just use the flower images and the leaf images to create a beautiful background. In this video I will be showing you a card using these two images in particular, but stay tuned till the end of the video because I will show you some more ideas. This is the card we're going to be making today using the two images, and then this is the brick and mortar 3D embossing folder. And you know, when I like an actual card and I've already gone through the thought process of the layout, I tend to just go ahead and go nuts and make them in every color because, you know, why not, right? So we are going to go ahead and show you how to create this beautiful card. The basic pieces of cardstock that we're going to need are the card base, which I've chosen to use Pool Party. This is your standard A2 sized card base, which is of course 8.5 by 11 cut into 2 and then folded in half. And then this white cardstock is measuring 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Measurements will be on the screen. And this is just whatever's this is just scrap. Actually, I should let's see how it's already been used, and I thought I would save it because you don't really care too much about what this looks like. This is going to be underneath your work and only the circle portion of it will show. So this measures around 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square. And we're also going to be using one of the circles from the Layering Circles die set to cut out a circle on that white, and then we're going to, once the circle's cut out, we're going to run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine using the 3D brick and mortar 3D embossing folder to create that pattern of a brick wall on this cardstock. So we've done our brick and mortar layer. We're going to now stamp the flowers. We are going to be stamping this in Pool Party, and these little images here, they go in the center of the flowers, these 3 dots, and these are just little, I think they're pine cones, or they could be leaves. In any case, that's what they're for. These and these go together. So let's stamp the flowers first. In Pool Party, let's cut and then just stamp off. Okay, so we're going to do it twice, and I think I want just another piece because that might not be big enough. And then once we've done that, we're going to stamp the centers, and I chose Crumb Cake. So the 3 circle images, you'll see them, they're very distinct as opposed to the outside images which look like pine cones or leaves. So it's these 3, 1, 2, 3 that go in the centers of the flowers, and you just have to try and do your best to align it with the center. It's not going to be perfect, but that's what a handmade card is all about. So that's what it's going to look like. And let's do it on the second one as well. And now we are going to fussy cut this. There's no dies with these images, but you know, if you like fussy cutting like me, you won't mind at all. So here we go. We have 2 of the flower images cut out, ready to use in our card. So now we're going to work with our brick and mortar layer, and I'm going to age that a little bit, or distress it a little bit, using crumb cake ink and our blending brush. So just tap and pick up some ink, and then just go ahead and apply with some gentle pressure that crumb cake ink, so that you're adding color to your brick wall to make it look more like a realistic brick wall, as you can see in real life. This is optional. You can leave it white if you prefer. I tend to like to sponge my brick wall, but again, it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. So this is what it looks like with a bit of sponging all around. And then remember that piece of crumb cake that you had earlier. Just go ahead and we're just measuring now. We're just guesstimating where we want pieces to be. So that's what we're going to want it to look like. And then these flowers are going to be glued on top this way. And I'm going to stamp the leaves on this part of the card. So I want a visual of where I'm going to stamp them. So I just take a pencil and just do a marking on there so that I know where to stamp those leaves. Okay, so here are the pencil marks that I created earlier to give me a guide to let me know where to stamp the leaves. I'm going to stamp in Evening Evergreen. And this is the leaf image here from the stamp set. It's the set of leaves. Ordinarily they go around this flower, but because I'm going to pop up the flower on my card, I'm going to stamp the actual leaves on this crumb cake piece. So let's go ahead and stamp that. And you don't have to worry about the leftover pencil marks because you're going to be covering that with your flower anyway. Now I'm going to stamp a greeting here, a thank you greeting, and I'm going to emboss it in white. And the greeting that I'm going to be using comes from the Cup of Tea stamp set, this thank you here. To stamp the greeting, I'm going to use Versamark because I'm going to emboss in white embossing powder. And Stampin' Up! Now has a toolkit for embossing. It comes with a powder pal, which is a little tray for you to gather up your embossing powder. It comes with tweezers, a brush, and this is called the Embossing Buddy. So basically what this is you rub it, or you apply it like this onto your surface, and it makes it so that there's no static and your embossing powder will not stick to any oils or from your fingertips that are on your cardstock, and then you won't have those little ugly bits of strays of powder when you emboss it with a heat gun. And I like to put a little clip on mine so that I have a handle to use, and then after I like to store it in a little plastic bag. So I've applied the Embossing Buddy onto this part of the crumb cake layer, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up my thank you image with a Versamark. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw embossing powder on there, white. And as you can tell, nothing has stuck onto anywhere on that card except on the actual stamped image. And now we're just going to go ahead and heat that up. we have that thank you greeting embossed in white. We've got all our pieces ready, so now we're going to go ahead and put our card together. So we're just going to, again, just figure out where we want this to be on the card base. So that looks, I might want to move it down a little bit lower. This is where you start figuring out what your final card, what you want it to look like. And I think that's good. I like that. So once we know that we're happy with that, I just keep your finger on that base of crumb cake and just go ahead and apply some glue to hold it secure. And you don't really care what this actually looks like because this is going to be underneath the white. So you just want it there secure enough that it's not going to go anywhere, knowing that your white layer will go on top of that. So let's go ahead and add glue to our white brick and mortar layer here. Okay, and let's add that to the top like so. And then we're going to add our flowers last. I've already gone ahead and added dimensionals to the back of the flowers, and I like to just use the take your pick tool to remove those. So let's put one there. And oh, you know what? I think I'm going to lay this one flat. So let's get our dimensionals out and use those again, and instead add glue because I want this to not be raised on my card. I just want it to be flat onto the card like so. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And then the final touch, I think, let's add some pearls to this card. So one there. You can just strategically add these where you want them. All right, so I think I'm happy with that. That's the final card. And as I showed you at the start of the video, I did this in a rainbow of colors. This is Pool Party, this is Poppy Parade, this is Bermuda Bay, this was Gorgeous Grape, and I did this in Calypso Coral, and this was, I combined Mango Melody and Daffodil Delight. So there are the different colors. Now I'm going to show you a couple more cards that I made using this stamp set. Colors. And I also did, using the same stamp set, this card here. And I aged a little bit. You can see I did some tearing of the edges. I stamped it with a splatter stamp. And I aged it a little bit with my blending brush and crumb cake ink. This is crumb cake cardstock, and the base is Evening Evergreen. And this here is the Gingham 3D embossing folder. So there's that card. And then I also wanted to show you how you could use the stamps, these two stamps here, to create a background like pattern paper. So here it is in this card where I just stamped all over the back here and made my own pattern paper, and the colors I used for this combination for that card, I used crumb cake for the centers of the flowers, And then I also used Gorgeous Grape and Petal Pink. And then of course the leaves, that's Evening Evergreen. This tag here is from the Tailored Tags. Beautiful die set that creates the tags in different sizes with the stitching already on the sides. And I used a little bit of the Evening Evergreen ribbon here with linen thread to tie it. And I wanted to show you this. The leaves that come out are from the stamp set that kind of goes with the Vintage Happiness set. This one is the same kind of idea, and the leaves that come out of this vase here are from this set. And I used a Sending Cheer greeting as well for this card. So as you can see, this two stamp sets kind of go together, and it comes with the matching punch. If you want to get them all in a bundle, these two come in a bundle here. 10% off if you buy the bundle. And this was just another stamp set that came that has the same bottles, so they kind of coordinate. So if you're going to get this, it really would be nice if you got that as well. So here again are all the cards that I made. These of course are all the ones that are the same design but different color. And then I did this and this. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you try out these ideas. If you live in Canada and don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator yet, I'd love to help you out. My email and my link to my blog is in the description. Send me an email if you have any questions. And I'd also love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The subscribe link is in the bottom right hand side. Just click on that. Happy stamping, everyone.